Hello, everybody. Welcome to Best Hole in the World. Today we're talking trees. We're talking with beautiful Flora Rudolph over there in Oregon, where it is full of trees. And Flora, what is it that we're going to be talking about today?
Well, it's kind of a different talk. It's I've had a week of really interesting out there kind of experiences, all connected with life direction and evergreen trees and my body. And so I kind of want to weave that all together. I hope I can weave it all together, and I'm thinking you'll probably help me out if I'm messing up. But basically, maybe a week ago, whenever, I had just this walking through my house, like printed on my inside of my head in bright yellow, was wake up and be happy. And I went, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? That is the whole thing.
Right.
And I had written in my journal earlier for like January, I'm going to read it, that January is about beginning. It is about renewal and fresh starts, new directions and clarity of purpose. It is about focus, beautiful focus. Okay, so that was what I wrote like on January 1st. And this month has been one of kind of tearing it up, trying to get to what is true and real for where I'm going, and asking for my guidance pretty constantly. In fact, just maybe a week ago, less than that, I just started saying, but guidance, just be me. Just be me. It's my knowing. There's no separation necessary. Let's just do it. And that was along with the wake up and be happy. The season of evergreens and all of this deep eternity that's with them and their everlasting qualities, and they're like the oldest trees out there, 350 million years plus.
Right.
And especially the cedar, I'm going to diverge for a second, which is like has such sort of numinous, sensitive, energetic qualities. They're just nuances that they're an amazing spiritual teacher. And I've been really hooked up with them a lot this month, as well as spruce, which is all about deep stillness for me. So all that's going on. And I was working against my guidance, as it turned out. One day when I was just going to get this stuff done, this huge determination, like there's a life purpose and I got to get somewhere, I got to get this done, and then I had to, is what I felt. So I was doing this huge pressure with this, and I had all of these transmissions coming through me, all this wonderful information, that it was like this bottleneck with the computer technology. Just blah. So kind of blew it up inside myself, as it seems to have happened. And the whole day was major frustration. At the end of the day, I said, okay, what's going on? It's like, okay, I feel disheartened. I feel flattened. I feel like I was in this bottleneck, and all these things tumbled out. And I said, okay, we're getting rid of that. And then the next morning I woke up making beautiful, peaceful, lovely breakfast, which I love to do. And my heart went up to 230 beats a minute with a huge pace and pressure and flattened and all of this stuff. And I just kind of ignored it and went to bed and did a lot of deep, calm breathing and stopped it finally. And then lay low, went out the next day, short story, went to the emergency room, they kept me, they did all this stuff to me. I didn't want to go there because I didn't want to get into that system.
Okay.
Anyway, so then I did it. And then I was discharged with all these glowing things like, oh my God, you have the heart of someone at least 20 years younger than you. You have an 8% chance of having a heart attack or stroke in the next 10 years. Go have a good life.
Right.
Okay, and no explanation whatsoever for anything that happened. So I'm coming back, and whether I'm creating a story out of it or whether it's the truth, what I'm left with is that I diverge from my joy, my wake up and be happy. And I diverged from all of these things in this process of getting it done. And when I came out of that whole little hospital experience, all that was blown away. And great clarity is here of what I'm doing with my business, with my life, what I want, what I don't want, in almost every area. A couple things still hanging out there. But all the things I asked for in January have come to fruition. So this has been like, yeah. And then I ordered a t-shirt, a Wake Up and Be Happy t-shirt that I designed. So that's coming. So this is the deal. And maybe I've said my whole talk in like 5 minutes, but this was the experience that I went on. I'm sharing that because it does interweave with really the whole, how trees are transforming me, and how the whole connection with guidance and trees and this energy is transforming me in these big, deep ways. And it's just this wave of experience that I had with the whole heart episode to kind of put me in a different track, which I am now.
So do trees, for instance, do trees ever go to sleep?
They go to deep hibernation in winter, which they are now. They pull those. I heard that, I read that evergreens even change their chemistry to deal with the cold. So they have all these processes that they've developed over 250 million years, whatever, to handle their environment and to be in that constant that they go to. They don't really sleep, but they do go deep internal, and their roots just take on this great power. And that's what's happening right now. It's still happening because it's still winter, which is fabulous.
Well, is that part of their message, do you think, that they're like saying, wake up and be happy? Because they're about to kind of wake up and be happy, and they're telling the world we're all going to wake up and be happy?
I don't know about the world, but I do believe that is a message, not just for me, but it's a message, because waking up, spiritual awakening, this huge topic, because it's up for us in consciousness now, and has been, and it's more accelerated energy now and more accelerated activity in that. People want to be awake. They want to live their lives present. They want to live their lives here, and they want to be happy. That's the bottom of it, right? And when you are awake, and when the trees involve me in tuning into that at such a deep level, and this transformation that's been going on with me deeply for like a year, but really for more like 10 years,
right?
Is a never-ending transformation, I believe, of ever deepening, ever releasing, lots of releasing. And that presence is happy. They're one and the same. And it flows through you. And the more you are open and allowing this all to flow through, and not doing what I did last week, which was super constricted and determined and in my head and whatever I was, but just going on a pathway, I was not enjoying by any means. The more you are open, tuned in the moment, and I believe the most helpful thing is hooking up with trees to maintain that. It's an easy maintenance. The more spaciousness, the more love, the more joy that just flows. It's not like you go get it. No, it's here. And it's a big lesson for me. I think it's one that we often share because we were in such a go get them, do it, be on it kind of society. But when even I start to go back there a little bit, because it's been a long time of me doing this in my life, is I still get that. I get that those pressure things come back. The feelings of like, this is not right. Very vividly. And that's one of the really cool things about getting older, is that you notice all of these flows in your life that come and go, and things that you believe are like, this is it, this is what I'm doing, This is it. I'm with these people. This is it. I am this. This is me. This is my world. And then that goes away, as life inevitably does. Move things around. And then the next one comes, and you just realize all of these things are experiences. They're wonderful, every one of them. And again, it's so trite, but the least attachment that you have to any of that, and just the deep embodiment of it, the taking it in, it all just is better. It's like, that's how it works.
So did you wake up and were you happy when you found out that the government was closed down?
I didn't really care about the government closing down because they always do that. But I am very troubled by our mighty leader. Yeah, he's something scary. So that does get me. I'm still happy in myself, but I see that trouble out there. Yeah. Yeah. So that is the path that I'm hoping you all hold me to, which is the wake up and be happy, letting the guidance be in charge of every moment. Just, yeah.
So how does the average person, right, move into that experience with the tree?
Well, we're all the average person. We're all here with the same stuff. We're all here with a life to unfold in whatever direction it's going. Our little piece of it that we're learning, and then we relearn, then we do another one, and we make adjustments. It's just how it goes, in my experience. And we have always connected with trees. Always. Since the beginning of people, which is maybe 200,000 years ago, of people more similar to us. And civilization, I think, started only 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. Every place you look, every culture, everything, they have been in relationship with trees. We take in the oxygen that trees give us. It's in our bodies. We eat the fruits. The water in the fruits, it's all in us. We are a symbiotic relationship with trees. And then with us, we give them carbon dioxide. We are all part of this. It's not like a separate deal. And just knowing that this has always been, we are people. I just was reading this book, and I'm going to talk about this next time, on sacred trees. I don't know how this came into my life. It was one of those magic things that I didn't know about it. I know I ordered it because I saw it somewhere,
right?
But I asked for it, and nothing happened. It just was there. Anyway, and he has researched how all these cultures all over the world actually believe that people came from trees.
That's a new one.
That's a new one. That was brand new to me, and it's like, okay, so what's that about? So this whole combination of us and trees, us and trees, us and trees, is like the freeway and the grass,
Mm-hmm.
It's like we aren't, we're part of the elements that go into that freeway. Like everything is here as an element, as a bit, but we are connected to trees in such a profound way. So it's actually just open yourself to it. Open yourself to it. Remember, let those memories kind of come back. It's not like a mind memory, it's a body memory. Yeah. And it's feeling the energies of trees. And I believe that's why so many cultures have seen, talked about the fairies that live in trees.
Right.
And the bears that live in trees and all this. I think it's really, and they talk about the soul of the trees and all of these things. Mm-hmm. Which I understand that as, if I were to look at you and say, you have a fairy in you because you put out energy and you're alive. Same thing, You are alive. The tree is alive. I think they've made that into something because just experiencing that aliveness and the vitality and the energy that is a tree.
Well, the tree is almost like there's so many organisms that inhabit a tree. right?
Yeah.
It's like a house, but it's got its deep roots that are, you know, far below what we can imagine how far they go, you know, and intertwined in the surface. So those trees that have been around, as you say, like evergreens for 350 million years. And then, you know, then the branches or however they are, they're all just, they're going with the wind. They're just joyfully moving. They don't make it mean anything when it rains or snows or the winds get big. They don't say, uh-oh, you know, they're just there. The political climate changed and they're like okay with just being there, you know?
Exactly. Right.
We can learn from that, I think. And I think that's what they represent. This, you know, the trunk is so sturdy. And I remember like reading the rings on, you know, like,
Yeah.
right, the ages when you, and you're going, wow, this is a wise one, right? and I don't know where that came from, but maybe that's from the old way that we came from trees, right? And that we knew that there was this wisdom. Who knows? But
Yeah.
there's definitely some connection when you actually presence yourself to a tree.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And it's always been there. It's not like a brand new thing we're discovering. And yet I think that more, it's like tree time right now, it feels like. Every few weeks, there's another person, like Judi Dench, just did a whole talk about trees and her love of trees and her connection with trees. And then there was a bestseller of what trees feel and how they communicate. New York Times bestseller. So it's coming. I mean, people are like, I don't know why that is. I mean, I can guess and conjecture, but I don't really know why that's happening now, except that I know we are in this huge transformation of consciousness. And so many of us are like looking inward to know things and needing that deep connection to help us do that on a more constant basis. Trees are constant. That's a whole like evergreen thing with the darkest part of the year. Evergreens were and are the trees that they're celebrated because they remind people of everlasting life and the continuity. Even with this deep pulled in energy, they are life happening. They don't, you know, look like they're dead, right, in the winter. And so it's just that powerful force of connection with nature, with the seasons, with what's going on. Right now, I keep looking up because right outside my window is this big tree. And it's bare. But it's just slightly swaying in the wind. And just watching that slight swaying brings me to presence. In my condo, third floor, looking out the window at this tree, I can get to presence, just like that. And the more you become aware, allow this tree energy in and aware and bring it into your life, it's so simple. The more simpler that becomes as well. And the more that you transform with that constant, joyful, wake up and be happy energy that is a tree.
Right. Well, I think that song comes to my mind. Come on and get the happy, you know, whatever that song is. Come on, and that, you know, it's that whole idea is that's really what life is about. And this idea that we think we have to get in touch with it, I think is kind of, the trees are probably saying, you don't need to get in touch with it. You just need to be present, period, right? Like we have these whole stories that we've got to do all these things in order to get present.
Exactly.
You can just wake up and decide to be happy.
Yeah. Right. That's a part of our big disconnect right now on the planet that's showing itself in so much weirdness, so much pain. You know, it's just, we're disconnected from nature, basically, from ourselves then, because we are nature. You know? Same thing.
Well, I just feel that probably this whole idea, like I remember, I don't know if you ever saw the show, but it was H.R. Pufnstuf when I was a kid, and they had talking trees. They'd go in the forest and the trees were talking, and they would have this whole conversation. And there's an element. I mean, there's different things. I think in some of the other, like old, there would be that sense where you go in the forest, you know, and the trees could say, "Oh, I'll protect you," you know. And I feel like that's just,
Exactly.
we know there's those, we can feel that they're living, and you know that if we're present to it, they are communicating with it. We've just bought into some story that they're just like this little thing with the trunk and leaves that hang there on the side of the road or in our backyard or in the park. And
Right. Exactly. Right. Because we weren't raised, probably, hopefully we were, but in close connection with trees and the earth and life forms other than humans and the little gizmos that we have, right?
yeah,
So, yeah.
why it's so important with kids nowadays, right? To really connect with nature. They're so busy in this virtual world. They really need to get their feet grounded in the sandbox and the trees, walking and playing and experiencing the presence of what is truly there. Because this idea is still here. This is wonderful that we can do this because this is part of the experience. But to really feel it, and feel it, because I think it's when we feel it, we can feel other things as we grow through our life.
Yeah, and that's the transformation. That's how that transformation works. Through me, that's what my experience has been. And there's just this bigger stillness, bigger opening, bigger releasing. It's all much more fluid than it was before trees. I saw this card, reading card, and it was like one mother and a daughter in Victorian dresses walking outside, and the daughter had like a laptop. She was on it, and the mom was saying, "Sweetie, this is outside." It was great.
But the truth is, the technology is so real, right? I was talking earlier about 3D printers now. So in one way, maybe kids are so aware that they realize that life is so much more multidimensional. But you know, it's like this balance, because I don't know how I see you over there, right? You're in Oregon, and I'm over here in Prince Edward. Like, we've got like what 7,000 miles that you know separate us. You know, we can connect here, right, in this space and be here. So there's this something that goes on that allows us to see. Like, I feel like I could just kind of reach out and touch you, right? Yeah. And I think somehow kids know that there's some sort of way they can do that, even though my brain still says you're way over there. So what would you suggest that somebody could do to connect with their tree now and wake up and be happy? What would be one thing they could do between now and next week?
Okay. One thing, go at this season, go find something and spend a little bit of time with it. Find one that you're interested in and spend a little bit of time with it. Put your hands on it, put your forehead on it. Thank it for calling to you, to meet you. And deeply, I mean, just like right now, just imagine that you're doing that. Mm-hmm. So you've got this huge cedar or fir or spruce or holly or whatever. Holly would be a little prickly, but you've got this big, beautiful tree. And just breathe in the fragrance. For me, that gets me there more than almost anything when I'm thinking about it. Just breathe in the fragrance, watch the movement of it. It's almost like noticing your own body. When you tune into your own body, you notice the things about it. You're tuning into the body of the tree, which is so cool. So notice these things, feel the texture, the bark, and the colors, and the green, and then you start experiencing this incredible energy. It's very lovely, and it's not loud, it's just there. And it's this peace. Sometimes I almost go into a little bit of a spin, inside me. when I first tune into a tree. It's like my energy is shifting to meet the tree. So you might be experiencing that as well. And then just allow this, what that tree is offering to you, to know what it is, to feel it. It's so exciting. Because you're not just connecting with the tree, you're connecting with life and the whole planet and all of it. It's just so amazing. So go do that.
Okay. And then report to us. Like, put in the comments below what your experience was. Ask questions that you want to have Flora answer on her tree talks. We'd like to get ideas of what you'd like to know about trees. Is it the species? Is it what each one does? Is it the vibration? You know, because each one has different properties, and Flora has got lots to share, and she'd love to share what you want to know versus, you know, just well, you know, she's just going to be guided for what she shares, but we'd love to know so we can tailor some of these talks, these good talks. So, thank you. Go ahead.
I think next time, just to put it in your head, I'm going to explore that connection between humans and trees, and that just the whole idea that some cultures believe we came from trees, and what was that? And then the rest of that big connection, humans and trees.
I need bigger leaves.
You need what?
I need bigger leaves if I came from a tree. Yeah.
Maybe you had small leaves.
Maybe I had small leaves. Yeah, maybe. Oh, that's great. Okay, I like that one. So trees and humans, trees and humanity, trees and people. Right?
And
okay.
There'll be some species focus there. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet until I get that.
Perfect. So next week we'll be back. Tree Talks. Thanks so much for being with us, Flora.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Go find a tree.